Hi guys, welcome back to another workout. So today I've got a 20-minute leg workout for you that's going to be focusing mostly on the glutes. So all of these exercises can be done with body weight only, but if you do happen to have a dumbbell available, you can add that into some of the exercises for an extra little bit of challenge. We're going to be working with 5 different exercises. Some of those exercises you're going to be working one side of your body at a time, so you'll have 2 sets of those exercises, so you can work each side of the body individually. 45 seconds work and 15 seconds recovery, and we're going to be doing 2 rounds of this. You're going to have a 2-minute warm-up at the beginning, a 2-minute cool down at the end, and everything else in between is going to be targeting those glutes. So put me somewhere that you can see me and let's get to it. Okay, so we're just going to start with our quick warm-up just to get the legs moving so that everything is prepped and ready to go for this workout. So we're just going to start with some body weight squats, so just nice and narrow, squatting down, driving knees out over toes as you sit back, finding that hinge through the hips to give you that little bit of depth. You don't necessarily have to come down this low, just to your depth, whatever feels comfortable, just enough to get the legs moving. And then we're just going to widen that stance just to really start to target the glutes here. And just start to open up the hips, so just widen the legs, but still trying to keep knees out over the toes as you sit down. And again, just squatting to your depth, whatever feels comfortable. And we're going to turn these into some reverse lunges. So we're going to drop that back knee to the floor, raise the arms up, and just get that little bit of a back bend. You're just starting to loosen everything up now in the legs. Legs are still working to drive you up. Just starting to feel the body moving, everything loosening. And we've got 1 more of these to go. And then we're going to come all the way down onto our backs, just to really work the glutes now, pressing hips up to the sky, keeping core tight, squeezing glutes as you press through. We've got a few seconds before we go into exercise number 1, and you can actually stay on the mat for these. We're going to work some single leg bridges. And you've got 1 set of these on each leg. So we're going to raise our right leg, and we're going to press through our left, always working the same side. So let's go for set number 1. Your first 45 seconds, lifting those hips and driving. And if you do want to make these a little bit harder, this is where that dumbbell comes in. Place it across the hips if you've got one, and raise. Make sure core stays tight. Squeeze those glutes through the whole movement. Keep squeezing, always working the same leg. Last few seconds. And you get that 15-second recovery, and then we've got exactly the same thing on the other leg. You can keep that weight on. I'd recommend it if you did use it, so you keep yourself balanced. Lift that left leg this time. Let's go for set number 2. Right leg working, again, that squeeze, that engagement. Core tight. And keeping that tension on the glute through the whole movement, even as you lower, glutes are still engaged. Closer in you get that foot towards the bum, the more of your glute you're going to target here, taking some of the pressure off of the hamstrings as you lift. Last couple of seconds, and then we're all the way up onto the feet. And we've got squat pulses for your next exercise, so we're sitting down into that squat and just that little bit of a bounce in the legs. You've only got 1 set here for this round, and let's go. That first 45 seconds, just to sit down and that little bit of a bounce. Again, making sure glutes are squeezed so that it takes some of the tension off the quads here. And again, if you've got that dumbbell, if you want to add it in, add that bit of a challenge, make these a little bit harder. Find that bounce. These will start to get harder and harder the longer they go on. Keep squatting, we're nearly done. Shoulders back, chest strong, glutes squeezed, and relaxing. So next we're going to work some lateral lunges, and we're always going to be stepping the same way. You're stepping out, hinging back, coming down nice and low, and then driving yourself back up to standing. Just go to your depth here. You may not come down quite this low. If this is your depth, absolutely fine. Hips will start to loosen up. The more you do these, and the lower down you go, the harder it is to press yourself back up. Again, you've always got that option of the dumbbell to hold in front of the chest. And again, we've got 2 sets of these, 1 on each leg. So always the same leg stepping. Find that hinge, send the hips back, and that explosive power to press you back up to standing. Got time for 1 more. And again, into that 15 seconds recovery. Then we're going the other way. Time to balance out the body. Setting yourself up. Let that heart rate settle. And let's go. Onto that second leg. And again, one side might feel completely different to the other. So allow yourself those first few reps to ease yourself in. And again, if this is your range, that's fine. You're still working through that glute, through your glute medius. And eventually, the more you do these, the looser you'll become in the hips, the more efficient you'll become at this movement, and the lower down you'll be able to go. So keep working. Sinking down and pressing, last rep. We've got glute kickbacks next, so you get to come down onto the floor, into a tabletop position. And again, we're working one leg at a time here to lift, keeping that bend, and then tucking in across the body, and then raising. Trying to keep that same 90-degree angle in the leg the whole time as you lift. Try not to allow hips to open out. That leg just kicks straight back. All glute and a little bit of lower back. Mostly it's your glutes here. Lift and raise that leg. It's kicking up behind you. Arms stay strong, shoulders stay strong. Just raising out. Find that squeeze. And again, into that 15-second recovery. Then you've got exactly the same thing on the other side. Just set yourself up in that tabletop again. And your other leg this time. Let's go time, let's do it. That next 45 seconds. Keep those hips as still as you can as you lift here. Keeping that leg under control. Slow movement, a bit of pause at the top so you can focus on that squeeze. It's coming across again. Core stays engaged here. Don't let yourself go soft around the middle. Staying strong, and that'll keep your lower back straight. Keep lifting. And recover. You got one more exercise for round number 1. That's going to be in a plank position on your forearms. I'm going to raise and out to the side. And then on the other leg, to lift and raise. You're trying to keep hips low, or as low as they can stay, without your back arching down too much. And just lifting that leg nice and high so you get that glute activation as you lift here. Imagine you're stepping over a box or a cone. You're lifting that leg. And that's round number 1 done. So good news is you're halfway through. Bad news is you've got to do all of that again. So we're straight back into those single leg bridges now. Again, using that dumbbell if you did last time. Right leg lifted, left leg planted, and let's go. That next 45 seconds, really trying to feel that engagement now. You've had 1 round to work on your technique. Now's that time to really see what you can do with those glutes, how strong those legs are. Find that pause at the top, that control. Keep pressing, stay balanced. And again, into that 15-second recovery, that little bit of time to shake that left leg out. Set yourselves up for set number 2. So your right leg planted, left leg lifted. And again, let's go, 45 seconds. Squeezing and lifting. That little bit of power to drive you up and off the floor. The main focus here is that pause at the top and that control as you lower that leg, as you lower your hips back down towards the floor. Keeping that tension on. And recover, 15 seconds. Squat pulse is coming up again. And again, if you use that dumbbell for the first set, don't go easy on yourself for set number 2. Find that stance, grab that weight, and let's go. Sit down nice and low. And that bounce, that little bit of a pulse. You're barely moving the legs at all here, just enough. Keep that bum poking back. I'll do this from the side. You can see how much my hips push back to really engage the glutes as you sit down here. Staying strong. We're close. Last time you're going to have to do these. And recover. And again, lateral lunges coming up for that next exercise. Keeping that weight if you used it last time. Stay just as strong in set number 2 as you did in set number 1. And let's go out to the side. Hinge those hips down. And driving back up. Hips might be feeling a little bit looser now, even though the legs are a bit more tired. Hips might be a bit looser. You might be able to get down a little bit lower. Still keeping shoulders back. And again, into that recovery. And exactly the same thing going the other way. Heart rate should be starting to raise now. Breathing getting a little bit heavier. And legs and glutes really feeling worked. Let's go, second 45 seconds. Working that leg on the other side. And again, remember your depth. Remember your limits. Don't overwork yourself with these, particularly through the hips if they are feeling tight. Just find your range. Whatever works for you.
Last few seconds.
And again, into that recovery. Dumbbells down and back into those glute kickbacks. So into that tabletop position again. Shoulders strong, back straight. And then raising, squeezing across. Get a little bit of core with that tuck. Working to pull that knee in. Glutes working. Kick that leg out. Finding that pause, that raise, and again into that recovery. Same thing on the other side coming up. Close here, we're nearly done. You've got 2 more exercises to go. Sitting up, and there's glute kickbacks on the other leg, tucking across. Kicking that leg back. Raising out, pushing that floor away with the shoulders, don't let the arms relax in here. You're still strong, pressing the floor away. Now, last few reps. There's 1 more exercise to go. The last 45 seconds of work. Back into that plank, that leg lift. Open, out to the side, and back over. Let's go, guys. The last 45 seconds of work. Control. If you do want to make these a little bit harder, try not to tap the toe on the outside. Don't let that foot rest on the floor. It makes the control here much harder. But if you do need to rest the foot, rest it on the outside and then come straight back in again. The last couple of seconds. And recover. That's it, we'll take a little bit of time here just to allow heart rate to come down, and then we'll go into that cool down in your own time whenever you're ready. But even from that 20 minutes, I've got a bit of a sweat on. Hopefully you do too. So whenever you're ready, I'm just going to loosen up the hips. Just rotating open. And allow the hips to rotate, allowing everything to twist open here. You're starting to loosen up the lower back, your obliques. Just finding that twist. This next movement I'm going to do from the side. We're going to roll down the spine and allow yourself to roll and round. And you want a bit of stretch through the hamstrings here. And the body coming down nice and low. You can allow the knees to bend, and then we're going to roll all the way back up and back up to standing. We'll do 1 more of these, rolling all the way down Find that stretch through the hamstrings, and then rolling all the way back up to standing. Coming back down onto the floor into that tabletop position. And we're just going to start to open out through the hips, just big circles. Coming back, out to the side and round, and all the way back round to the front. You should really feel this in the side of the leg. And then drop that knee down and exactly the same thing on the other side. Get that leg back, roll around that hip joint. And then just coming down to seated, we'll go with your left leg out straight. One leg hooks over the top, your right hand comes behind. You're just going to pull that knee into the chest. Just holding a few seconds here. Should feel a nice stretch through that glute. And then coming around the other way, crossing your left leg over your right, and twisting. Pull that knee into the body. A really nice stretch. And then releasing. And that will do, guys. That's your workout done for today. Thanks for joining me again. As I said, I'm going to be posting these videos weekly, so you're always more than welcome to come back and join me for more videos and more workouts as I post them. So make sure you hit subscribe if you haven't already, so that you can see these videos and you can catch them as soon as they go live. But that's us done for today. Stay safe, guys. I'll see you in the next one.